Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Welcome to Footwork.
All right. Welcome back to Footwork. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Sean, and each week we're bringing stories and tips from around the globe as we dive into our journey abroad.
Outlining what it takes to follow our dream and hopefully yours, even if it's not soccer. So, Sean, wie geht's, que tal? What's up, bro?
Nothing much. Enjoying the beautiful weather here. Today it's like 90 degrees here in Hamburg, which is it's rare, but it's a nice week of weather. Sun's out.
Wait, question for you. Is there a rule with Fahrenheit to Celsius? Is there a conversion rule?
Yeah.
Or are we all just switching it on our app?
It's I know this. It's 9/5, so almost times 2 plus 32.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, not doing that in my head because I know like 0 degrees is 33 because that's freezing.
32.
And then
so you're off
30,
already.
Yeah. 33, no? For
32.
Freezing in Fahrenheit?
32.
All right. Well, anyway, this is a podcast about soccer and not about. All right, back to it. Sorry to interrupt you. Just it came to my mind.
Yes. So in Celsius, when it's over 30 degrees, it's hot. That's all you need to know.
Hot as hell.
It's kind of
especially when you're used to like cold weather here.
Right. The conversions kind of become like that, right? Like over 20s, around 70. It's like nice weather in the 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the low teens, it's cold. Over 30, it's hot. And that's like everything else you don't really need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, my phone is still in Fahrenheit.
Same, but I understand the feeling when I see like, on the train or something, it says like 20 or whatever. I know what it is. Not accurate because I don't even know what the temperature water freezes.
But what's 1 degree?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't tell the difference.
I guess life and death.
So
what are you doing, man? So where are you at?
Still training with my new team, Phoenix Lubeck, just in preseason training. Now they're really ramping up for the cup, which I cannot play in since I'm not technically on the team until July 1st. So they play next or when this comes out on Monday, they play a few days after that in the semifinals.
Cool. Very nice.
And 1 game after that and then into the DFB. And you yourself, what about you?
Yeah, so we had our actually against your old team, like we said in the update. I believe it was the update. Yeah, so first game since fucking October, because we ended November 1st, right? So this is like the first competitive game. It was a Testspiel, so it was a scrimmage for our Americans. So it was the first time being out there for real and like a real game. Got the start, played about 80 minutes. Was really feeling it at the end, just in terms of muscle stiffness, and I was just, pretty gassed. It's one thing training, right, and then it's another thing playing on a field. We train on artificial, a good artificial, or decent enough, and then we play on a really nice grass. So I mean, it's just completely different when you're digging in and you're really playing, really chasing back and making those recovery runs. Weird game, 3-3. You could tell there was just, got to shake off some cobwebs, but we have 2 more friendlies coming up. And then we have the big, like Hamburg Cup. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's a one-off game between 2 of the teams in our league in the 4th tier, and winner gets to go play in the DFB where I played Leverkusen last year. So it's a huge game, not only for the clubs, but for the players. The clubs make money, the players make money, and then we get an opportunity. And you never know. Leverkusen's a tough team to play. I think although a Regionalliga team beat them last year, Essen, I believe, beat them.
I don't remember.
But
it happens every year.
South, they're a little bit better. Yeah,
right.
It happens every year. But in terms of competitive wise, you kind of want a 2nd or a 3rd tier in terms of experience and like how cool it is. You want a Bayern. 1st tier, You want Bayern, yeah. But imagine playing against a. Yeah,
but
Bayern,
I mean,
even they're playing the 2nd team.
Right, but Dr. they're in our Regionalliga Nord, and they lost to Bayern 2-1 or 2-0, and that was the best 11 from Bayern as well. That Robin was there at the time, and Ribery.
Yeah.
So
that was at Dr. though, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it adds a little bit. I mean, like,
Sure.
it's not an excuse. We would have got smacked up anyway. We weren't there. We weren't ready to play Leverkusen, but if we played them on our field, it's much different. It's much harder for them.
Sure. Definitely.
So, which would be
Definitely.
sick, hopefully. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
fans are allowed. I'm not sure how many, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just trying to grind out, trying to get a start. And we'll see. We'll see, man. It's exciting though. It's good to be back in the swing of it, like, you know, training 4 or 5 times a week, like yourself. You know, it's nice. A few of the guys, and myself included, were some of the first ones to be there, some of the last ones to leave, because, you know, we're either in the gym beforehand, you know, just doing a little weight training. And then afterwards, I'm in the sauna or the ice bath, or both. Been doing that a lot. Showed Sean my recovery today. I mean, this past week is just, I've been in the green on the whoop strap. Just
have you been doing ice bath and sauna together?
I have. So I've done that twice. I don't do it every time, but I have done it twice. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, my body feels pretty good the next day, and my recovery numbers have been really, really good. And, you know, after the game that Monday, we had training again. And I mean, I was pretty dead. Tried my, you know, but I think that's going to come after games that you haven't played for so damn long.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, it's been nice, man. It's been nice getting back into it. And, you know, you never know with these things, these games, and, you know, you never know who's watching, and you never know who could be in the stands taking notes. And it's just, it's a common theme. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a nice segue. Well done, Dylan.
I tried.
Into one of, we're kind of covering 2 topics here today. And the first one is walking advertising. I mean, they go hand in hand, but Dylan and I have kind of spoken about this together, I think off air.
We gave a teaser too, though, in the update.
Right. Whenever you, so the gist of it is, whenever you perform well, whether that's on the field or in a job or wherever it is like you want to take advantage of that moment as much as possible. Right.
Evan
like
said it really well. You're always leveraging when you're on top, and when you're, I mean, like he said it, he phrased it as, if you sign for a good club, leverage that immediately.
Correct.
I think anytime you're on top, whether it's after a good performance or anything, you want to leverage that.
Yeah, exactly. So the quickest, easiest example is like you play a game and you perform well. You perform really well, like as good as you could have in your mind, and your team loses 1-0. Now, instead of being upset and pissed off that you lost and you just run away into the locker room after the game, don't talk to anyone. Like, granted, you lost, yes, but like, embrace the moment and talk to the people on the other team, shake hands with the coach on the other team, you know, stay out there, and kind of, you're now advertising yourself as like, okay, wow, this kid was a good player, and now look at him here. He knows these players, or he's friends with the players. Maybe there's a connection there. And who knows, they might turn around and say, hey, we're looking for this position. Oh, that's it. I remember Dylan played really well against us. Like, oh, now I want to sign him. And it happens all the time.
Yeah,
and more often than not, the players are the ones who kind of get you those opportunities.
Yeah, the players have a lot of power, and especially in our leagues, you know, like I'm sure they do at the top too. You always see like these little posts, like someone's being an agent, like, you know, Agent Pogba or something. They're trying to get someone because they're friends with him, and they can relate to the coach if you're a good guy. A lot of the times you go on trial, they're not only looking at, okay, how does he play? Does he fit in playing style? Is he scoring? You know, is he fit? But they're also looking at, how does he gel with the team? Do the players like him? Do the players want to play with him? Is he a good locker room guy? So, I mean, all these things add up. And Sean mentioned, like, yeah, you may lose, and we're all competitors, and, you know, we're all can be sore losers. And, you know, you can look at it as that one game is everything, or you can look at it as, you know, the whole thing is a game, and you're trying to make it to the best team. This is all part of the game. It's all part of the process. So stay out there, shake hands. Yeah, just don't pout, you know. Yeah, it's always tough to lose, but you never know what could come next. So it's always important. And, you know, like I said this before, you really never know when an opportunity is going to arise. And Sean, we can dive into it a little deeper here, is how you got your contract. Is, I mean, in terms of how hard we've worked to get contracts, it's kind of minuscule in terms of like, like you didn't really do so much to earn their interest or
Sure.
earn their, I mean, you did obviously all those hours, but I'm just saying from this one game, you wouldn't
Yeah.
think like, we've been on 2 week month trials. So
Right.
in terms of that, it just doesn't relate.
Yeah, and
So
I mean,
it's
now that
also
you
been
say that too,
that-
it's not even the first team that this has happened. And I'll first talk about this. So the team I'm on now, my old team, the team that Dylan just played in a friendly, we played them. It was my first game with my old team against Phoenix Lubeck, and we played them in like a tournament, so 60-minute games, I think they were. And played right back the first 30 minutes, center back the second 15 minutes, then came off the field. And from this game, for whatever reason, piqued their interest, and they've been interested ever since. I'm sure they watched me in a few games since then, whether they're friendly matches or point games, season games. But whatever it is, I mean, I've never spoken to them directly about it, but they've been interested ever since that game. And yeah, so you never know, number one, who's watching and what someone sees. That's number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, at Meyendorf, so old Oberliga team where Dylan played with me, that also was brought
pizza money.
That also was brought about through a player. So they saw me play, of course, and when I played against them in the Oberliga, I had a good game. We beat them pretty handily with Condor. But then what happened was, what I found out later on is that a player was going to Meyendorf, was changing the following season. The coach at Meyendorf asked him, "Hey, who's the best player on Condor? Who has the biggest impact?" And he says, "Sean." He says, "Okay, we want to talk to him," and that was it. There's no trial or anything. I mean, in that league, it's kind of like that you don't really trial. It's more like they see you playing a game and you play well, then that's it.
Yeah, because everyone's been on teams, so
right. But at the same time, I think it's the same way in this league. We're just slowly getting established in the league. Like we're not quite there yet. I mean, maybe we're getting close to that point where it's like, oh, he's played here and here. Like
you need more starts.
You need more
how many
starts.
starts do you have in this? How many do you have in this league?
Only 4. Because I played 3 before COVID and then 1
7 or 8. So yeah.
Right. So it's not a lot.
Exactly.
But after the season, then it will be at the point where it's like, if you wanted to change teams or move to a new club, they have everything they need. They've seen everything they need to see. They might bring you in for a trial, like you said, just to see if you get along with the team and the team likes you. But in terms of how you can play or not, they've seen everything they need to.
For the most part.
So you never know, one, who's watching, whether that's outside of your team, and then 2, every day in training, or how you carry yourself in training, how you get along with the guys, that goes a long way. And then in addition to this point on advertising yourself, this is another point that we wanted to talk about. It's like we always talk about, you have to network and build relationships with the team, and that's how you can become a better leader, and you can win games when you have closer relationships with your teammates. But at the same time, right now we're training 5 to 6 days a week, whether that's games or training. Let's say 3 hours more or less for each of those. So it's 15 to 18 hours a week you're spending with these people. Now, you're not building relationships and networking with them just so they can help you out in the future, or maybe you're going to need to ask a favor. But like, this is our life. This could goes for anything. This could be in the workplace as well, for another sport, and just the workforce. It's the same thing. You're spending so much time with these people. Do you want to go to work or go to your team to training, and you're just there to get to the next place, so you don't really care about having fun or talking to your teammates, asking them what they did, whatever, how their day was? Or do you want to, it's like, it becomes a new family, so to speak. And you can really enjoy, like, oh, I can't wait to go to training today, to just mess around, talk, be intense, but at the same time have fun. Or you can go to training and be like, man, I hate these guys, like, they're just annoying. I can't wait for the next place. And it's like, you're just wasting a year of your life instead of just enjoying where you are. And you're networking, because then your quality of life is better, not just for what they're going to help you in the future, but like, you genuinely want to enjoy wherever you are in the moment.
Completely agree. I mean, coming back to, I've said this so long ago in one of the episodes, was like, I chose this route because I didn't want to be miserable. You know, I kick a ball around, and to go into it with that mindset where like I just want to get this training, then I want to go home is like, I think maybe I did it a little bit at first, like in my first contract, maybe in Australia and stuff, and I didn't quite settle in, and thus I wasn't so happy with it. It was kind of like, when's the next one? Like I was waiting for the season to end, and it's quite crazy where if you're playing games and people on the outside looking in who are trying to get contracts, like compared to their situation, you're playing every day, you're training. Like it's Joe Funicello said it a few times too in some of his combines. Is like when you play abroad and you go to these cities and these countries and you get these new contracts, you have to have the mindset where you're picking up and you're moving. You're there. This is your home now. Like this isn't one just big summer camp and you can't wait for it to be over and go back home. Like I'm here. All my attention is here. Yes, I talk to friends and family, and yeah, I miss out on things and I wish I could be home sometimes, but I'm 100% here, and that makes it more enjoyable. That makes me more in the present. That makes me, appreciate my teammates and the things that I'm getting with this contract and, the facilities and everything. It just makes you more into it. And then I think you're, like you said, you're happier. And when you're happier, you play better, look good, feel good, play good.
Sure. For sure. And that's a true thing. And then you're 100% there in the moment and enjoying the experience. And then that leads right into committing 100% to whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Everyone has a friend or knows someone. I mean, it definitely, everyone knows the person that says, oh, I could have did it if I tried, goes back to like high school, middle school. Oh, I got an 80, but if I tried, I could have got 100. I could have got a 90.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have got on that team if I tried, but like I didn't really try, and it's like, that is just a losing mentality. Like
I don't think you want to have excuses built in to something before you even
start. Right.
Because then you're always a little hesitant. You're always putting 1 foot in instead of 2 feet in, instead of diving in.
Right.
You're always kind of like, well, if this doesn't work out, like, I don't know if it's a fragility thing in your mind where it's like a self-conscious thing and it's hard for people to commit 100%, or maybe it's failure. Maybe it's just this fear of failure where, if I say I didn't, or if I don't give 100% and I say like, I put up the safety net, like I never truly fail. And thus it's never really a reflection of me. It's more a reflection of the event or the environment.
Right. Because those people they're lacking 20% in whatever it is. And they're just giving the 80% that they're good at. And then when things get tough, the situation gets hot, they just back off instead of leaning into it. And let's keep going. If the result doesn't come, which I thought would come from this, it's not necessarily a failure, but it's just a learning experience. And then I can learn from it and go on to the next one. Whereas
I think we need to normalize failure.
Right. But it's not even like the word failure is the wrong word.
Well, I think it has that connotation.
That's where it stems from. Right. It's like, it's not a failure. Like what a failure is you're not trying. You're not committing 100% to something. And then the end result doesn't happen. And that is the failure. The failure is not that you didn't get the end result. The failure is that you didn't commit 100% to it and you didn't give everything you had. That's where the failure is. And it's changing the mindset from the end result to the process of getting there and committing 100%. Because when you do commit 100%, you figure out, number one, if you like what you're doing or not. That's the most important part. It's like, okay, I really like putting in this work and I really like what I'm doing. I know this is right. If not, oh, actually, I don't really like this now that I've committed 100%. I see things that I never saw before. Not a fan of it. And then you go on to the next thing. But also committing 100%, you realize how much more you can do. And how many things you see that you never saw before because you weren't 100% in on it. You were just dipping your toe in the pool. You never jumped in. So you have no idea what's in the water because you've never gone that far. You always back up. Oh, the water's cold. I'm not going in. And it becomes that then becomes the mindset into everything you do. You're afraid to commit to something because it's like the unknown. And
Exactly.
I might do this and then it might hurt a little bit, or I might do
Well,
this.
rejection is tough, because
Right.
if you go on a trial or a combine and someone tells you, no, I don't think you're good enough, it's very easy to take that personally. And then, that becomes a reflection of how you see yourself. And then maybe it shuts down your dream or something. Or it's like, a lot of people say, I never made it because of this, this, and this. And it's tough for them to say, I never made it because, I didn't give it 100%.
Right.
And it's the failures, like you said, like that word has such a negative stigma attached to it. Like failure, like you're a failure. I think a failure, like you said, is someone who just gives 60%, 40%. To me, a failure can never be if you give 100% of yourself and, you get a rejection. That's just like, that's not a failure to me. That's just like one defeat,
Right.
of many games.
Right.
I feel like we need
Right.
to come up with a different word than failure.
Yeah.
I got some synonyms right here. Tell me what you like here. So failure as a noun, defeat.
It's like
It's
a
not
hurdle.
bad because it's like a hurdle. Yeah. Or frustration. What is this? A cock up.
Interesting.
Cock up, a plural noun. Something done bad or inefficiently. See, I don't think it's done bad if you give 100%.
Yeah.
A dead duck. Okay, let's see what this one is. A person or thing that is defunct or has no chance of success. Don't like that one either.
Certainly not.
All these are so negative. I get it, because failure
Right.
is not success. It's the anthem of success. But all right, what's like catastrophe, debacle, fiasco, flop, botch. These are all so bad. Okay, hash. A dish cooked of meat cut into small pieces and cooked again. See, this is better. This is much better.
Makes total sense.
Either way, it's more of a hurdle. It's more of a defeat.
It's just simply, it's
losing a battle.
It's losing a battle, or the end result didn't come to you as you wish it did in the moment.
Yeah.
But it turns out a lot of these things with the right mindset turns out it to be a great thing. Like, for example, if you signed for my old team, you would have never played against Leverkusen, and you probably wouldn't be in the exact same position you are in now on a better team. And at the time, that seems like the end of the world. Like, oh man, this really sucks. Like, third team in a row that said no. Transfer window's closing soon. Not sure what I'm going to do. Then all of a sudden, wow, hold on. This is so much better than it would have been. And
I think many people would have a tendency, after getting denied after, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, just like taking a hit on their confidence. And the next day going to a trial for a better team, who's like winning right before, like has all of these games they're winning. They're in the DFB like final, Pokal final. And yeah, I think it would have been not easy, but it would have been like comfortable to just be like, yeah, well, I couldn't make this team. Let me settle, but
yeah.
I don't know what it was. I can't think about my mind state that like going into that trial, but I just knew I didn't have time. I just knew the window was closing. I didn't have time to doubt myself. It was just like, all right, I dove into that pool. They told me to get out. Now I got to dive into this pool. Like
Right.
I tried to simplify it as much as possible and not overthink it. Like, oh, maybe I'm just not good enough for this league. Maybe I'm just, not the player this country is looking for. Maybe my talents are just, not seen on this. And, it could have been easy. It's like, all right, maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I should just try something else.
Yeah.
But I never thought in that terms of extreme.
No.
It was just like, okay, that was one, and this is the next one. And there was two before the, trialing with your team. And it was kind of just the same thing.
Yeah.
It was tougher because I played for teams, and then not that Haida was the worst, but statistically speaking, Haida was, lower than some of the teams that I trialed for. So to go from that and then still have the confidence to try out for a better team, after being told no is a tough thing. But I mean, it's just part of that, like, normalizing failure when you're giving 100% to the process.
Right.
That's when I think normalizing failure is fine. Like,
Right.
I gave 100% and I failed. Okay, that's fine. I give 100% to the next thing.
Yeah. And also, like, with our experience up until this point, it's like, it's not always they don't always take you or say no to you because you're not a good enough player, but they might have players in their position where they're going to play and they don't feel that you're going to bring anything to the team. The way the team plays, maybe you just don't fit into the system. Like, I would say at our team in Oberliga, in a league below, like, you weren't really a standout player in a lot of those games because where you were playing
like
and
2
how
good
the team was playing was not suiting for you. So a fan looking at the game from the outside is just going to take the game for what it is. Doesn't seem like a special player, but it's because you're not in the right environment. The environment is not, it doesn't suit where you play best and how the team's playing. So sometimes it's just you need to change the environment. And then with that, you could have made excuses. Like, there was many reasons why they should have taken you. And they should have taken you. Like, there was no reason they shouldn't have. But the sooner everyone can realize that no one cares about your excuses, like no one cares about anyone's excuses. Like, that's the truth of it. And it's like, the excuses don't matter. Like, you could think of it in an extreme example. While I was eating breakfast today, I was thinking about it. It's like, imagine your job is to bring home food for the family or for the tribe, whatever it is, and you come back and you don't have food. It doesn't matter what you say, they don't care, right? Like, everyone is now starving because you didn't bring back what you said you were going to bring back. You didn't bring back anything. You could say anything you want, but is that going to make the food appear on the table? Is that going to bring food to everyone? No. So it's like, that's an extreme example, but it's the same idea. Nobody cares.
You're bringing it back to hunter-gatherer times.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Literally no one cares about your excuses. And the
No,
sooner
and
you can get
especially-
over making the excuses because you realize that no one cares, including yourself. If the excuses for you is just a pit of losing. And, like,
exactly,
take the situation for what it is and move on to the next one and get a win as soon as possible. And that's it. There's no excuses. Just take it for what it is. Figure out a few things you could do better. Understand that sometimes it's just out of your control. You couldn't have done anything to get signed for the team. You couldn't have done anything to get the job, and look for the next opportunity, because maybe the next one, or most likely the next one's going to be even better.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, especially in our position, if you're a foreigner playing in another country, or someone who's grinding and listens to this podcast and is trying to make it in another country, they do not care about your excuses as a foreigner, especially because it doesn't matter to them. Like, yeah, you can talk to them and communicate these things, but, like, at the end of the day, we live in a profession, and most people live in a profession where performance is most everything. It's everything, really, right? So if you're not playing well, they might give you the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he's injured or whatever. And there are, extreme cases where the excuse is, if you're injured, you're not going to play to your best. But if you're homesick, or if you have, some things going on in your personal life, those excuses don't matter. Yeah. And it is an unfortunate thing, because to relate it to, our friends who aren't footy players in business, you're working at a new place, especially, you're a new worker at a new firm. They're not going to care about your excuses why you didn't get work done, because you're new. You're expected to come in and to, perform. That's why you're hired. Right. This is why, you're taking someone else's spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think, teams or companies can be more empathetic, but the sad reality of it is that they don't care. No one cares about your excuses.
Yeah. But even with that, like, even the excuse or whatever you could say is, like, you go to a new team and, like, oh, he just has to get comfortable in the new city. He's moving his home, he's got to get comfortable, give him a few months. Like, to me, that's garbage. Like, you have to, when you go into the team, why are you uncomfortable? Like, you're playing the same game you've always played. It's new players, but, like, go in with confidence and just do what you've always done. Like, maybe they play slightly different, but, like, I don't know.
I think
I've never
I
had
agree
an
with you, and
issue
I disagree with you.
to a team that extreme level. Like it's never.
I
Of
agree and I
course,
disagree with you though, because if
Mhm.
you're taking your first contract in Germany and they're speaking German on the field
Okay,
and
sure, sure,
you're used to a certain style of play and you're
sure.
used to like, or just a certain speed and you need like a little
A
bit, like
learning
you're a good
curve.
player. Like us in college, it's every step has been faster. So every step that we've taken, the speed of play and the speed of decision making is faster. And if you have the qualities of a good player, you can adjust to these things each time.
Sure.
But where I agree with you is it shouldn't take months because teams don't have months.
Right.
If they're paying you and you're taking a foreigner spot and they're helping you with a visa, regardless, whatever it is, you don't have months. You have weeks or a month. So it's comes back to 100% I'm here and I'm living here and I'm home and I don't have one foot in and one foot out. I don't have one foot back in New York and one foot in Germany. When I'm here, I'm 2-footed in Germany. I'm Marcus Rojo in Germany. And it took a little bit to adjust to every level. It took a little bit to adjust to the Oberliga. It took a little bit to adjust to the Regionalliga. And that's part of the process. So I agree with you, but I disagree in terms of like first training or second training.
It's
But
fair. It's fair. I
tough
don't even
though,
know if
because
I
if you go
believe
on
that.
trial, you have to look like I'm settled and I don't need that.
Right.
Maybe you do for the games, but like, I don't know. There's many, you fake it till you make it, really.
Yeah. 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 I think.
I have a question. I have a question
Yes.
for you though, because you have you're a strong-willed person, and I think you've had these for many years, this mentality. Do you ever feel like there was something that you didn't 100% commit to because this is how it's easy to feel this way because
Mhm.
we've all had friends or teammates or family who we hear this from, like, oh, I didn't get it because I didn't want it or I didn't try,
Mhm.
or you beat someone. Oh, I didn't try. Like, that's why you won. Or like, you're a try hard. That's why you won.
Yeah.
I'm just chilling. So like, has there ever been a time in your life where you feel like because you didn't 100% commit, you didn't fully exacerbate the situation and get, the most benefits from it? Might be the wrong guy to ask.
Now, I would say no, because this has been how I've from the time I can remember, like probably 15 or 16 is when it was really like, this is just how you have to be. Is like
Mm-hmm.
that is the feeling that I'm forever making sure I never feel. Is
Okay.
like, I don't feel ready because I didn't do enough.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where it stems from, the whole thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
even
Mm-hmm.
granted, okay, in college, like classes, there are some classes that I just didn't care about, didn't try, and I didn't get the best grade at the end of the semester. But to me, like,
Mm-hmm.
didn't enjoy it, didn't like it, didn't care about the class. And yeah, I think that was my mindset in college, where it was like, there's classes that matter and I need to learn this, and there's classes that this is ridiculous, I don't know why I'm learning this. I'll skate by with a B plus, and for me, that's fine. I'm sure that's maybe one thing, is like, I definitely could have committed more to like some of those classes. But student teaching, like, back to what I always do, is like, I need to be prepared to take over a class full time in 4 weeks after this middle school placement. So instead of just waiting in the middle school, I told the teacher, like, let me just throw me to the wolves. Like, let me just take over. If I mess up, like, you're in the back of the class, you could tune in, but like, let me do this, because I need to commit 100% to this, so that in 4 weeks with 15-year-olds, one grade above, ninth graders, like, if I'm not ready, they're going to eat me alive. That's like, let me just figure this out now, and let me fail, so to speak, make a few mistakes here. But I have a bit of a safety net with you in the back of the classroom, which turned out after 1 day, 2 days, it wasn't even necessary.
Didn't need, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I knew that even though I did not want to do it, I knew it was
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, didn't feel like I was ready to do it. Like, if you do something or commit 100% to something, you learn so much faster. Like, there's no replacement for that. Like, you have to
Yeah.
do it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. Like, as much as
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to, like, for me, the 4 years of schooling, and everything I've learned and all the other placement things that we would do leading up to that has brought me to this point. And it's like, I'm going to do this. And I was fortunate enough to get this opportunity. There was 30 other people that could have gotten this. I was chosen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I need to not only do it, but do it well, because now the name of the school is on my back.
Yeah.
Like this is bigger than me. So it's like, let me just take over day one. I watched one period. I was like, next period, I was like, let me just go. They're going to have 1,000 questions. Who are you? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like if you just do it, they like, they're what are they, 12 or 13 years old? They also realize that and respect it. You know, it's like, if you bring a confidence to whatever you're doing, people have like an ability to respect it or understand what you're
or they
going
don't
through.
understand, but you're still learning from it.
Exactly. And you understand that there's going to be those people that don't understand. Yeah. And they don't care. And it's like, once again, no one cares about your excuses. They don't care that I've never done this. Right. Some of them, don't care about school at all. Some of them do. And if I'm doing a poor job teaching them, they care. They're going to be mad that like, hey, this teacher sucks. Like, I want to learn algebra, whatever it is. And if I'm not doing my job, they don't care about that. They just want to do or learn whatever. And if I suck at the job, they don't care. And it comes back to no one cares about your excuses, even if it's a stinky 12-year-old that doesn't wear deodorant.
Yeah, it's a tough age. I mean, just to even specify this, just to drive this point home, I guess, would be, when you do and you commit 100%, when you fail, you are going to learn why this, and this didn't happen, why something went a certain way. But if you don't commit 100%, then you are left thinking, I didn't do anything wrong. Just the next time I will, try harder. And then you're always a step back if you never actually put in 100%. If you just sat back at the end of the class and you just said, oh, I know it, like I learned it, when you did it that first day, and if you were being critiqued or judged and, a job depended on this, you're not ready. When you could have failed a little earlier when it was more appropriate, and then you are ready. And then you learned, okay, I had to do this, and this, instead of in the classroom, you're like, okay, I can do this if I just do this without ever trying. You can't, you have to learn by doing. Most of the time you have to learn by doing in these circumstances.
Yeah, there's a quote. I'm going to try and look it up quick. But yes, Thomas Edison, fail fast, fail often. And I think it's like, you in any situation, like figure out a way to push yourself where you're going to fail as soon as possible. Because then whatever that failure was, like he, 9,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb was his thing. It's like, you're just one step closer to the finished product, or the product that's par for whatever you're doing, and that you can do it well.
The best version of it.
And for me in that situation, it was just like, all right, throw me to the wolves. Let me do this. Like I've prepared all I can. I know this math. It's very easy. I don't really know the lesson, but I'll just go on the fly. I'll figure it out. You're here as well. And let's just do it. Because then what happens 2 days later, I'm so comfortable. The students are comfortable with me and I'm comfortable with them. It's a piece of cake. But if I didn't do anything, I would have been in the same situation I was the first day. Like, I don't know these kids. Like, it's frightening. 25 little kids staring at you. Like, you're in charge. What are you going to do? And it's like, I know I'm nervous or I'm fearful, whatever it is, whatever emotions you have, just commit to it, because there's no backing away. It's like, I'm here, and no matter what happens, I have to, at the end of 4 weeks, I will be in charge of 100 students. And it's like, we could go about this however way you want, but for me, the best way for me to be prepared for that is like, let me just do it right away. And just like keep giving me pointers as we go. And like, I think it worked out well, and it's worked out with everything else. It's like, just commit 100% and you'll figure out, you'll fail, but then just learn from it quickly and move on to the next thing. Just keep improving over and over and over again.
And the last thing I'll say in this is, I think it's so much easier to get over a failure if you put 100% in it, because your regrets are at a minimum. Like, you don't regret it as much. And you may not think about it, but you may not look at it this way if you're only sticking in 1 foot in, but I think it's a constant regret that sticks with you. And then I think it could be, self-depreciating, where it's just kind of, it harms you in a bit, where if you are constantly doing this, constantly thinking in this way, you know, you're always going to have those regrets. And you may not look at it like that. You may look at it, oh, I didn't try. But in your head, like, you may say that, but in your head, you're thinking, like, I regret it because I could be there. I could be here instead of where I am. So for me, you're not a loser if you fail. You're
But
a loser if you don't try.
On the opposite end of that, I think this mindset and this way of doing things, it breeds confidence. That's why I'm so confident. You can give me anything, and I can promise in time I will be very good at it, whatever it is, because it's like I've done 1,000 things before, and it's always happened. So why would the next thing that comes into my lap, why is that not going to be the same thing? I'm not going to be great at it right away, sure, but I'm going to learn very quickly and get very good at it very quickly.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And it's like, that's anything that comes my way. This is how I feel about it. And it's because this has been the mindset and how I look at things. I don't look at it as, ooh, I don't know this. Like, I don't really want to do this because it's going to embarrass me. My ego is going to be hurt. Like, sure, I don't know it, but in a week from now, I'm going to be much better at it than I am right now. And then in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be very good at it. And then 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be better at it than you. And it's like, having this mindset is anything that comes my way is this is how I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. Like, that, having that attitude towards things.
Who really cares, if you fail? Like, no one cares about your excuses, and no one cares about your failures. Like, they're just there, and you just need to get over it and just commit yourself to something.
Yeah.
Just 2 foot, dive in, and whatever happens from there, you reassess, you re-engage, and you go again, right? Jocko.
Right. You know what's funny now that you think about that? So I can think of something that I didn't commit 100% to, and it's just funny how things work out. So sixth grade, I remember this.
We're taking it way back.
I had a math teacher. I'm not gonna. In sixth grade, we changed. We were still in elementary school, but we changed classes, so you only went to one teacher for a certain subject.
You didn't have middle school in sixth grade?
No, we had K through 6.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, math speak is weird because there's just a lot of kids. Didn't really get along with this math teacher for whatever reason. And one quarter, I got a D in math class, and I was really upset. And it's just funny now, oh, hey, I got a D, and then 7-8 years later, I'm teaching math, and it's like,
that is funny.
It's like, and I think I got a C. I think got C's and D's all sixth grade in math, and it's like, the environment wasn't right. Didn't get along with the teacher. I probably wasn't being a great student for whatever reason in that class because, oh, this is a bad teacher. But the excuses don't care, right? No one cares about the excuses. Everyone else is doing fine. Why are you not doing fine? But it's just funny how years later, I'm the one teaching math. And there was a teacher that I didn't have, but Nick had, and he said he became a math teacher because he wasn't good at it. And he's like, that way, when I go into work, I'm enjoying what I'm doing because I'm learning every day. I was never good at math, so why not become a math teacher? Because then I enjoy what I'm doing. If you're just doing and talking about history and you know so much about history and you're great at it, is that fun? It's like, well, it could be, exactly. But let me find.
I mean, you gotta do what you're passionate about. I'm not good at fucking hockey. I'm not gonna go play hockey.
But at the same time, with the right mindset, it'd be fun to go play every day because you're going to get better every day.
Yeah, well, I think, of course.
Say, for example, if you went and go played with shout out CCNY, you'd be bored after a while.
You went and go played. Yeah. It's a comfortability, but it's also I think he'd have to enjoy math. Even if he wasn't great at it, to want to do that because he's learning something he enjoys and gets better at it.
For sure. And obviously, if you're at that point, you obviously know math.
I don't enjoy field hockey. No offense. I just never have. Yeah. I'm not going to just go do it because it pushes me out of my comfort zone. There's a level here.
Yeah. Shout out Tony if you're listening.
Enough.
Yeah, I think we're going to cut this off. So keep plugging and passing. I think we got to get back on that train.
Yeah, we've had some busy weeks. We're trying to get back into it, but yeah, I don't know. Let's do that again. Let's run this last part again.
Okay.
You can start whenever.
Yeah, so back to plugging and passing. I don't think we've preached that enough. I think it's our fault. No one cares about our excuses. We just haven't preached.
Yeah,
enough.
there's no excuses. We haven't come out with enough content and
quality
with enough
content
guests.
and enough guests.
Yeah, so there's no excuses, and we'll be better, and we'll be
come
back
stronger.
We'll come back stronger, and when we come back stronger, we'd appreciate if you guys plugged it and passed it like never before.
Right.
It's a big year,
and quite frankly, we don't care about your excuses either. Why you haven't been plugging and passing it. I mean,
I really could care less.
Yeah, like this is your job.
What are you, embarrassed to plug us on social media? What's wrong?
Yeah, because imagine if you went and got and played, and how are we speaking English over here? I mean, we're trying.
We try.
We're trying to speak 2 languages a day. Hurts the brain.
It does hurt the brain.
No one cares about the excuses, Dylan.
Fair enough.
Learn German. Fair enough. My first coach here would always tell me. He told me every single training, learn German. Every day. Every single day. And he wouldn't speak to me in English.
Wow.
But hey, he had a point.
It helped.
It helped.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It helped a lot. So yeah, there you go. Walking advertisement. No one cares about your excuses.
100% commitment. Don't be that guy who doesn't go the full 100 because it's a safety net if you don't fail. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl.
I think that's the name of the game. Don't be that guy.
All right. I like that title. But the first part doesn't, you want to be that guy. You're walking advertisement.
Don't be the guy that says, "Oh, I could have done better if I tried."
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Be the guy that's 100% in it, fails, tries again.
For sure. All right. So until next time.
That's it from me. Keep moving forward.
Keep learning.
And make your own path.
Nice little dramatic pause there.
Dramatic.
Footwork is sponsored by ourselves. Also, Kung Fitness and Merchant Designs, baby. Follow us on Instagram at footwork_podcast. Twitter is at Footwork Podcast. YouTube and Facebook, just check out Footwork Podcast, search it. Email us if you need anything, any questions at footworkpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, plug, pass. Tell your parents, Amazon delivery guy, mailman, I don't know who, just tell them. Like, subscribe, review, all of it helps. Danke.